if you think about Eastern philosophy, it's a big part of it tells you actually to see everyday life and everyday objects as very meaningful and very special. And I think this is what Japanese or photographers from Asia implement in their work. They see everyday ordinary objects as something very special. Whereas here in the West, I think we're more trained to find the special, the beautiful, and we're kind of trained to photograph something or try to photograph something that is not ordinary because we think it's going to be boring or like a little bit cliche or not interesting enough. So Araki famously introduced this style of photographing everyday objects and made it look like art or feel like art, and this is something I learned from him a lot. My advice here would be to kind of go back to the basics, to see what you have around your house, some ordinary elements that you can find beauty in, that without discrimination, basically. Araki's concept of making a photograph feel more personal rather than professional is actually really genius. A lot of times we kind of glamorize the idea of the photographer, you know, like with fancy equipment, studio, a lot of assistants, preps, etc. But most of the time, the most interesting photograph is the one that has this intimacy, the one that gives you a feeling rather than, you know, a look of something that is being done super professionally. So I think Araki again here has taught me a lesson of just kind of not try to be too professional and not accumulate too much gear. To be honest, the best photographs are actually taken with very simple gear and very simple cameras. Here I'm really trying to embrace the snapshot aesthetic and really try not to over-edit my photographs and not make it look very professional, or even in my case trying to be professional, because I don't have fancy equipment and I don't really have a studio or assistants or professional models, etc. Many of us don't think that the places we live are very inspiring and feel very frustrated to live in a place that is maybe not exotic or not interesting enough, and that's why people think that while traveling they can do better photography. However, one thing Araki is actually saying is that the most important part of photographing in your environment is being familiar with something. He basically is saying that when he traveled, he didn't really feel inspired, and the best thing for him was to photograph in Tokyo. I think embracing where you live and really try to find beauty in where you are, not only gonna make your life easier and make you a better photographer in a way, but also think about it, if you live in some sort of suburb, if you live in a place where you think nobody would ever go, then probably it's less documented, so you would be the first one to document it, or the second or third. So I think it's very important to look into your environment, and the more ordinary and boring it is, the more interesting it can actually be. I hope these 3 lessons from Araki is something you can actually implement in your work the same way as I do. I would be very happy to receive any comments below, and I'll see you in the next video.